Joe, if ever we needed more white babies, we need it now. Because from what I hear, that in 20-something, 20, 30-something, white people are going to become the minority in America, and that's the last thing we need to happen. It's over for America if that should happen. What do you think? Do you agree with that?
Well, absolutely. I mean, America certainly can't continue as America unless you have your founding stock that
Yes.
stays here. And so, because we were established as a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant country, if the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants go away, then what you had to begin with fundamentally disappears.
Absolutely, man. Why are white people afraid to say that out loud?
Well, a lot of it has to do with programming. We've been programmed by the government schools from the earliest stage possible to see ourselves as the problem. There's also, I think, something called altruistic, or it's called pathological altruism, and it's something I think that affects white people in particular, where we want to be altruistic. It's kind of in our nature. And yet we'll do so at the expense of ourselves. And so it's a dangerous place to be. But I think that's why a lot of white people are so uncomfortable with that as a concept even.
That's amazing. So what's that word again?
Oh, it's I certainly didn't coin it, but pathological altruism. So pathological, of course, is
Right.
It's kind of like a disease state.
Yeah.
And then altruism is just the idea of, fathers are altruistic to their children. It's a good thing to be altruistic. But there is a sense in which if your altruism is leading to the destruction of your family, that's a pathological altruism.
Oh, is that the same as fear?
I suppose it could be. I suppose there could be similarities for sure.
I mentioned on my radio show today that I don't understand why white people in their own country will support other people who come here from foreign countries. For example, right now, the college campuses around the country, you have the Allahu Akbar people protesting, and they see America as the big Satan, and they see Israel as the little Satan, and they say that Christians and Jews are worthy of infidels and worthy of death, right? But yet, they are on our land, calling us this, protesting in our country, and there are white people who are joining with them. I don't understand that. It must be the Altruistic thing that you mentioned.
Yeah, I think it is. It's one of the most bizarre things in the world.
Yeah.
To have a country that everybody wants to illegally enter, and then once they get here, they all kind of basically get in line for the free handouts, and the founding stock of the country seem to take it on the chin, and then just join them in complaining about themselves. If that's not pathological, I don't know what is.
It is insane, man. Joe, what's important to you?
The things that are important to me, Jesse, are first and foremost God. I was given the immense privilege of growing up in a Christian home. Both my parents love the Lord. Their parents on both sides love the Lord, and so they instilled in me a desire to love Christ and see Him honored in all things. So that is hands down the most important thing. Because of that, the most important thing that I can do with that is to worship that God. So God is Jesus Christ, the Son of God, is the most important thing in the world to me. Number two would be my family. I've got a wonderful wife. Her name's Elizabeth. And like you started off the show, I've got 10 white babies. My oldest
10.
is 10 of them. My oldest is 16, and my youngest is actually just 1. And
Whoa.
those are incredibly important to me as well. So God and family. And then third on the list would be this country. I love this country that I'm a part of. I don't want to live anywhere else. I don't have another place I want to go. And one of the things that's important to me is to stop the Republican tendency to always want to retreat and
Yeah.
to leave and to try to start something new. I don't want to do that. I live in the county in which I was born, and I want to die here, and I want my children to put down their roots here. And I might not be able to fix national problems, but I'd like to see my own home, my own local community grow stronger, loving the things that God loves. So those are some of the things that are important to me.
What's wrong with the blacks?
What's wrong with the blacks? Well, you know, I live in Lewis County, Washington, and Lewis County is, I believe, 99% white. We probably
Whoa,
we
paradise.
Yeah, paradise. We I don't have a lot of real world experience to answer your question about that. If I had to be kind of an outsider looking in, I would say one of the problems is that our culture panders to Black culture way too much. We don't hold them accountable to anything, and every time they have any kind of problem, we just blame it on ourselves. So I would say that's like a huge problem, and it's super disrespectful because I don't want someone to just say, "Oh, all of your problems are someone else's fault." Well, if there's someone else's fault, then there's nothing I can do, and so then I guess I'll just go make rap music or something.
Amazing.
What do you think?
Same thing. They are angry, but they're angry because their mothers and grandmothers have recreated them in her image. And the father have not been there to protect the children from the mother. And so that anger being passed on from generation to generation to generation. But instead of people loving them enough to tell them they need to go and forgive their mothers and return to the father, forgive the father for not protecting them, they have been told it's the white man, it's racism, you need a program, you need affirmative action, you need something. So they're being used in their fallen state, and the people that are using them don't want them to overcome. They don't want them to be independent and free. They don't want them to be of love. They need them to be angry and out of control so they can use them for power and money for themselves.
You know, it seems like the more anti-racist our country becomes, the worse things are for the Black community.
Yes.
If you go back 100 years ago when nobody was trying to be anti-racist, it seemed like the Black community was much stronger back then.
Yes.
And part of it probably was some of that that difficulty breeds strength. But if the father's not there, then there's no hope. That is a fallen community if you don't have the fathers present.
God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, women over the children. It's the only thing that's going to work. I want you to know, it sounds like you already know this, but there's no such thing as racism. I grew up in Alabama under the so-called Jim Crow laws. I went to all Black schools and things like that. But Black people would treat everybody the way that they would like to be treated. They did not, either you had love or you had hate, and it didn't matter what the color was. We own land, Blacks own land, and all other kind of stuff. And it wasn't until the Civil Rights Movement came along that Blacks went downhill, and it never returned. So there's no such thing as racism, sexism, homophobism, Allahu Abbaism, and deadbeat dadism, white supremacism, anti-Semitism. It's a spiritual battle. It's a warfare between good and evil. Even the Bible, God says that our battle, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities in wicked places. So it was a made-up word in order to deceive and control the people.
That's good.
So what do other white people think about you that you're able to speak up like this?
Well, I think in a lot of white communities we just don't talk about this very much. So
Oh.
this isn't necessarily like these are conversations that we need to be having so that we at least understand our own programming.
Yes.
If I understand my programming and I understand that this is the way I am going to be manipulated, then I can fight against it.
Yes.
But if I have no clue that this is the way I've been programmed to believe, then there is going to be, I'm going to be just led around by whatever manipulative tactics our media want to use.
Yeah.
And they use it constantly. And so this is a very important conversation, but I wouldn't say it's a conversation that happens a lot.
So you guys will say, hey, Tom, why don't you and your wife come over tonight for dinner? And when they get there, what about those blacks?
Yeah, that's not usually the topic of conversation.
That's amazing.